I mentioned fun businesses, and what could be more fun than making maple syrup? And serendipitously, we're not just talking about maple syrup, we're talking about March, which is Maple Syrup Month. Bruce Hopper, who is the owner of the Pure BS Maple Shack, world headquarters in Auburn. Bruce, welcome.
Thank you for having me, Tim. It's a sweet day here.
It's a sweet day. Now, we've known each other for years, as attorneys, but we're not going to talk anything about the law. We're going to talk about your business, the Pure BS Maple Shack, and you make maple syrup, and you started in your backyard. Tell our viewers the story.
Well, it started out when I bought the house in Auburn that had maple trees. I was super excited. So it started out really small, making the syrup in the kitchen. One year I got a little rambunctious, decided I wanted to make more. Yada yada, ruined an oven.
Well, there's some trial and error, like in any
yes.
business, right? You could call it research and development.
So I got kicked out of the kitchen, sat in the driveway with a turkey fryer, absolutely miserable. It's like a day like today, snow, cold. So then we built a shack in the backyard. I had this vision in my head, was up front with the town the whole time. They came out and inspected. We started making it there, gave it away. People said, "You're crazy, you should sell it." And then started selling it, and now it's all over the place, and it's just pinched me.
And a great example, town of Auburn, Julie Jacobson and her team, welcoming a new business, not a traditional business, but tapping into kind of the nature that's in your backyard, right?
Yes. Well, and the other thing too, Julie's been great.
Get it? Tapping.
Yes.
Sweet joke. Yeah.
I may throw that one in the bucket.
All right.
The town's been great, the whole neighborhood. So it just expanded along the neighborhood. Everybody gets super excited. They bring their buckets over. Now we've expanded into Millbury. We've also got property out in Heath. And then like Birch Tree Bread Company, they make an awesome maple latte.
Heath's way out there in the mill towns, the hill towns in Western Mass.
Yes.
Great little place, yeah. And so you're making it, bottling it, and selling it now. So you've created this kind of small business. You talk about local and fresh and taking advantage of kind of our assets here. Maple trees, we've got plenty of them.
Yeah, well, and just the whole energy that's happening in Worcester, that whole entrepreneurial spirit. Birch Tree Bread Company, they're, like I said, the maple latte. They're doing granola, things like that with it. Chuck's in Auburn has done some specials with it.
Incoming president of the Auburn Chamber, Steve Londrigan, a great local business owner. Yeah.
Salem Cross out in the Brookfields, they have a chicken special that they do with our syrup. Crystal Caves in Auburn, we tap their trees as well, and then they make just the best maple walnut ice cream you can imagine.
Now I want to, at the time we talk about the science of this a little bit and how you've been working with the Worcester Tree Initiative, Tower Hill, and kind of working with kids and kind of using this as not just maple syrup, but the process and how it happens, and kids kind of learn in a fun way about science and how to make things.
Well, and grown-ups too, because I get a lot of, you can make syrup in Auburn and Worcester? Well,
right.
Yeah, all you need is a maple tree.
Yeah.
So that in and of itself is a learning experience. But yeah, the excitement and the joy that you see on kids of all age, just explaining the process and the weather patterns. People are really surprised. Number one, that our sugaring season is in the spring instead of the fall. Everybody thinks syrup in the fall, and then how we are beholden to the weather as well.
And that's just give us a little insight on that.
Well, for me, ideal weather is low 40s, high 30s during the day, in the 20s at night. And if you think of the process, it creates a pump in the tree, thaw, freeze, thaw, freeze, thaw, freeze. Once the trees bud, our season is done. So I'm one of the few people in New England that wants winter and early spring to continue on as long as possible.
So you were glad the groundhog is wrong.
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
And so you're doing some, you're bottling it, selling it, tours, and kind of You're like the Johnny Appleseed of maple syrup, kind of teaching people about it and how they might do it. And
yeah, sharing the love, and other people are tapping their trees now, and people come back to me later or at farmers markets and say, yeah, we tap some trees now, and they get super jazzed about it. I mean, it's just it's so much fun.
Yeah, but you're not just tapping the tree and that's maple syrup. There's a process you put it through, right?
Yes. I always we'll have a 40, 50 gallon barrel and tell people that's how much sap it takes to boil down to get 1 gallon of syrup.
Yeah, yeah.
So that sort of discourages people. But again, it shows people that it's a super labor intensive venture that one has to go through. There's certainly a labor of love in it.
And you were showing me you tap the tree lines, that then kind of run and then kind of into these.
We do both, which is great for the visual for people. But if you think about it, we can't really have the lines up in the neighborhood.
Right.
And especially the shack is in the old part of Auburn. Right by the First Congregational Church and the old cemetery. Mm-hmm. So it's really cool to have all the old-fashioned buckets line the street. It just has a nice feel to it. Certainly out in Heath we have the lines, and in some of the back property we can do the lines as well. So.
Right. And the timing, is serendipitous in the sense that also, that you're on the show in March, but which is Maple Syrup month, but there is this focus on all restaurants about, sourcing locally, local, farms, local foods, healthier, less environmental impact in terms of transportation and carbon emissions and those types of things. And so you've struck it, huh?
Yes, I'm riding the syrup wave right now.
and we got a couple minutes left, but we mentioned it's Mass Maple Month, but your Mass Maple Weekend or something's going to be happening?
Yes, March 16th and 17th. So what we're doing is this year to showcase the versatility of syrup and maple products, maple cream as well, which we didn't even get into.
Right,
that is just heavenly. So whatever your heart desires, you can put that on. Again, we're not adding anything. All we're doing is boiling the syrup down more. You get maple cream, and then you get maple candy, and then ultimately maple sugar.
Yeah.
And if you continue after that, then the fire department comes. So at Mass Maple Weekend, Birch Tree Bread Company is going to be doing things. Worcester Wares is going to be doing something. Over at Stillman Meats, they sell our product. Glazy Susan's is going to be there. There's another indication of, like I said, this whole entrepreneurial spirit in Worcester, because we sell now through the Worcester Regional Food Hub. Nutty Bird granola, and also Glazy Susan is using our syrup, but it came through the Worcester Regional Food Hub.
And that's one of our partners. With the initiative with the
they're fantastic.
Health
and
Foundation,
then also
Mass,
again to show the versatility, whiskey on water. Now and that weekend, and also they're serving whiskey drinks, and then the ballot box as well on Friday the 15th. They're going to be
so
showcasing the syrup and beer. Which
so Guy Glotus, in the ballot box at Chamber of Business, you want to get a little whiskey with a little maple flavor. I mean, Bruce, you're creating an empire here, the international headquarters, Pure BS Maple Shack. I love it. Bruce, we're thrilled. We're going to have you back next time. We should do a little demonstration, but this is great. You're promoting the region, Discover Central Mass, involved with a number of our partner organizations. We're just excited. And we were talking, I said, we've got to have you on and talk a little bit about it. If people want to learn more, how do they get a hold of you?
They can come to the shack at Central Street in Auburn, or we're on Facebook.
Pure BS Maple Shack.
Pure BS Maple Shack. No mistaking.
Yeah. Well, good stuff.